So, guys, again, thanks for bearing with us, guys. I know this is a lot of having to stop the video and rewatch, but I think it's worth it. For those of you who were just joining us when my system went down again, I am going to show you a video, really one more time, because it's so good, and I think it's worth seeing again. Seb, where are you going, by the way? So I'm going to bring on a video here. My buddy, Sebastian Terry, who is the founder of 100 Things, an incredible human, one of my favorites, actually. Don't let it go to your head, Terry. Sebastian Terry. And here's a little plea he made. When did you record this video that we're about to see to Sharon Osbourne? You've got your mask on. When did you see the video? When did the video that you were about to see, when did that go out? Your plea to Sharon Osbourne. And is that how you would describe this? Okay, so coming up here in just a sec. Bear with us, guys. We're just getting back in the swing of things here. I feel good, you know. I wish my technology was faring a little better. But, you know. That's right. Nothing matters at all. Do you feel a little left out about that? Oh, I like that. Okay. Well, yeah. All right. So standing by. While we're standing by on this, I'm going to show something to the audience here that is pretty cool. This is something that, oh boy, I'm having lots of problems. Sorry, guys. Everything's slowing down here. No, it's just on me for the moment. Sorry, I know that's got to be painful for you, but. Oh yeah, your naked roommate there. I love that. Okay, so what I'm putting up on the screen, which you can't see right now, Terry, but it's a picture with your butt cheeks.
Mm.
And it says 100 things on it. Do you know the picture that is in question?
Yeah. I think, is it the one you and I at that Christmas party? Is that the one?
No.
Oh, sorry. I wear budgies a lot. It's hard to narrow down. Which one?
No. This is the one of you in a place in the desert with writing on your back. Is that ringing a bell?
Oh, my budgie. I don't have any budgies on.
No. The first picture I showed was your budgies.
Oh, yeah. No, the one in the desert. Yeah, fantastic.
So what am I looking at here? What can you tell me what we're looking at?
Yeah, well, the one in the desert, 2009, Burning Man.
Yep.
It was on my list of things that I'd always wanted to do. I think it was number 11, go to Burning Man. And the photo taken by your very good self. It was, I felt sorry for you that day because I said, look, I'm going to be naked for some of this day and I expect some photos. I don't think that's quite how I said it, but you were very lovely. In fact, you probably offered to take the photo. You did. That photo there symbolizes an amazing week, of course. I know there's a big Burning Man community that you're such a big part of. And it was a real eye-opener for me. But also that photo made it onto the front cover of my book in Taiwan or China. And China, which I always found so bizarre because you wouldn't expect a photo like that to be allowed into China. But anyway, that's what that was. I have no idea. The Australian version, they said, they just said, we just need a photo of you. Can you? And I hate photos. So I had to go to a studio and do a photo thing. It was ridiculous. And then even though I suggested it should be something from my list, and they never did that. So yeah, no, China just came in strong and said, no, we want your ass on the front cover. So
I love it.
let's make that happen.
So everyone's seeing you now. You're live with me. That story and that the video there, or excuse me, the cover, that photo, we met at Burning Man in 2009, right? And in 2009, yeah, and kicked off a pretty amazing friendship. We've been hanging out for quite a while now.
Yeah, well, I now live in LA in this wonderful country of yours, and you're, I think, my first friend here. And you've always, I said it to you recently when we caught up, but just to fast forward the best part of it, I now feel every time we catch up, I'm home, and I hope, for me, that means a lot, and I hope you understand that from your end too. Yeah, I mean, we met at Burning Man. I was with Camp Pep, and I know Vocab Company are performing later, and I went with a lot of those guys. Robbie and Berkey, and I also know Ollie Lang, I think, is going to be a part of
Ollie's
this.
coming on later from Bali. Ollie from Bali.
Yep. So Ollie kind of suggested to come. These guys, you should go. Blah blah blah. I said yes. I ended up in the middle of Black Rock Desert. We met. You introduced me to a bunch of people. You took a photo of me naked. I don't let anyone do that. And then
not just that. I rode on your back, followed you around the entire day naked, shot you naked.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty epic.
I still maintain, by the way, for anyone who sees the photos, it was cold out there in the desert. So
yeah, well, it's from behind on this one. Seb, I want to show your ESPN reel. Can you just tell us what we're about to see here?
Yeah. Somehow I got approached by ESPN, who wanted to do like a little feature on my story and put it on Sports Center. And the funny part about it was they reached out on email and they said, "We love your story. We just don't know how it's sport related." And so I just went through the things on my under things list, anything that was sport related. And they liked the idea that I pushed someone in a wheelchair to complete a half marathon. They said, well, let's just make that the focus. It can be about kindness. And I love that, of course, as you do. And so that's what it was. So out of nowhere, this documentary came on, and it's been seen a lot of times. And I hope people enjoy it.
Well, here we go. I'm going to play this right now for you.
This is Essie Featured. This is the power of sports.
People always ask me why I do the ridiculous things I do. We all have two choices in life: to walk the path of comfort or strive for the things that make us feel alive. Yoo! I just never liked the term bucket list. Yeah, I don't think death should be the... I'm Sebastian Terry, and I have a list of 100 things that I'm trying to do to be happier in life. We all have the potential to do whatever it is that we dream of doing. The key to achieving things is giving yourself permission in the first place to consider who you are, what you are, where you've come from. I grew up in Sydney, Australia, where as a kid hung out on the northern with Chris. Played on the same rugby teams and rode surf boats together. He was one of my closest mates. At 24, I was struggling to find purpose in life and what would make me happy. One night, I got a phone call to me. Chris passed away tragically. I was in shock. I felt empty. Losing a close friend so early in life completely crushed me and led me to question everything. If Chris could life again, if he knew somehow that he had only 24 years on Earth, if he just knew that in hindsight, would he live the same life or would he have changed everything? I don't think he would actually change a thing about his life if given a chance. I then turned that question on myself at 24, and after about 2 minutes of consideration, I just realised that I would change everything. My reaction was to grab a piece of paper and a pen, because as I saw it, I just wasn't happy. And I decided to write down a list of things that I hoped would bring a smile to my face if I was to try them. So one thing turned into 10, into 20, into 50, and I was just full of emotion. I suddenly had this bit of paper in front of me, which I saw an opportunity to change my life. So I decided essentially to drop everything in my life to pursue this strange list of 100 things.
Yep.
One of the harder items on the list is to kiss a celebrity. Consider it.
3, 2, 1, go! There it is! Woo, that's a crazy picture. Knock, knock. Who's there? Sebastian Terry. Oh, my God! Number 7, the namesake, baby.
Now, it's time to embarrass him. Let's see how we go.
Number 89. Visit the Playboy Mansion. That's a tick.
See, living on my island, see something different every day. It's enough to write a song, surrounded by the sky and the clouds way up high. I wish that I could tell someone about my island in the sun.
I felt really empowered. I knew I needed to be happy. I realized that in my life, and I changed everything so that I could pursue my list. I knew this was important to me, and I threw myself at it 100%.
Was a crazy idea out of the box, and it wasn't something that I'd heard of before. I had a few reservations. I'll definitely tell you two that really worried. First one was hitting across America, because I have seen so many movies of people getting kidnapped and one worried.
Lying, I made it. I've just hit the east coast of America.
The other one that was him going to Colombia to get by a gun. I really want him to do that one, and I didn't sleep for weeks leading up to it.
As I could tick items from my list, people began to take interest in following my journey.
We're with 100 adventurer Sari. Now, Seb, what else have you got on the list to tick off?
There is one thing, 26, help a stranger. And I think that's a fair line, so I don't know if the audience or listening on to, I just want to stranger.
I was contacted by a man, Mark. When I met Mark, I immediately felt for him, and a man in need. Mark suffered from Lyme's disease, combined with immune and genetics, which nervous system. His body and spirit are practically paralysed, but his mind really.
What I could help him with. He said that to complete a half-thon. He just said, push me.
Once finished, crossed the line, and we gave Mark a hug. Complete stranger walked over to us, sensing what had happened, and they just gave Mark hugs too.
It was the thing that I've ever done in my life, and it was as simple as helping someone.
At the end, I felt alive. It was magical. About love, connecting, and being human.
Myself enough, and the first person, Mark. Home and on, I have helping other.
When this journey first started, it was all of Seb, and now evolved into something. It's now about people.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Nervous.
Nervous?
Yes.
Why would you be nervous? You're jumping out of a plane.
I was contacted by a woman named Shoni, who suffers from multiple brain tumours. She wanted more than anything to skydive.
When you get onto a plane and they tell you that an oxygen mask will fall down from the ceiling in case of an emergency, and they tell you specifically to put yours on first before helping any others. I think in life you have to look after yourself first. You have to be in pursuit of the person you truly are. And when you get there, you're able to then help others. You're better equipped to do so.
I'll always be able to look at this moment and this guy, who I don't even know, has made such an impact on my life, and he's doing that not just for me, but for other people. He's changing lives just by doing what he loves. And today, help a stranger, that was me.
I thought it would take 100 things to find happiness. But strangely, it was number 26, help a stranger, that gave me a true sense of purpose.
I gave myself permission to ask a question to myself, and the answer for me has changed my life. And it's a question that anyone can ask themselves. What's on your list?
Beautiful, brother. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
You
I
jumped
hope
out of
people
a
did.
plane naked.
Yeah, I lost my jacket. I was getting quite hot here.
You lost your jacket. Is that what happened now? So you jumped out of a plane naked, and then you showed up on my show naked.
Yeah, there's
You
a
love
theme.
being naked. I think you're a nudist at heart.
No, I'm not. I'm actually just scared of being naked, which is why I try and do it often. And that's true. That's true. You should see me naked. You'd be scared too.
I've seen you naked a lot, probably more than most men in my life, because you love to be naked. And so you say that's not the case, but
Oh wait, yeah, I'm wearing a tie for you.
I digress though. So you brought up something that I love, and of the humans I know on this planet, and I know a lot of people, you appear to be one of the most fearless, but I also hear you saying that's not the case, that you do have fear, but you push into that. So your story is super compelling. People just saw it, so they have a little background on you, but your friend died. You asked yourself the question, what if I had 1 year left to live, would I be happy with the life I've led? And you decided that was not the case, and you decided to do something about it. So all this stuff, all these 100 things on your list, painful, challenging, you make it look easy.
Yeah, well, I guess for me, the drive, the impetus for all of it was I just didn't know myself, and I'd never really kind of got out of my comfort zone before. I was just very sheltered being brought up. So a lot of it in the first instance was about liberation and adventure and breaking the shackles. And so I just threw myself at things. And whereas before I'd absolutely talk myself out of doing things, as we typically do, because by default, we don't like being uncomfortable. I would just try and do it, whatever it was. So I still absolutely feel the fear of whatever, all those things. Because there's a misconception that I don't for some reason. And that's not true at all.
There's a misconception that you don't, because I've seen you, walk into a party in a bathrobe and then literally walk into a fountain, a public fountain, and swim.
So I was trying to maintain some sense of, serious. Yes, no, I did do that. Well, yeah, but I do it just to test myself. So on the outside, it may appear that I'm comfortable, but I'm not. Yeah, and even last night, through 100 Things, what I'm doing over here, we had a virtual open mic night, so that people around the world could tune in and just play music, and achieve that thing from their list, right? So there's a guy like in Scotland who it was 2 a.m. He dialed in to sing a song. It was wonderful. Anyway, I performed a song too because I'm running it. Why not? I was petrified.
Yeah.
By the end of it, I had sweat everywhere. So it's not that I don't feel fear. I just try my best to process it differently. So I'm petrified and self-conscious, and I have that inner critic and all the things. I just try as best as I can to not care and do it anyway. And you find out that you can do lots of things.
What the hell, go for it anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure when you first thought, people sort of look at you and go, wow, you changed your name to Paulie Amore. You ran for mayor of LA. Anyone could do it, but you just process stuff differently. And you go, I'm going to do it. It's great. I love it. I love it.
And as for you, so fear is there. You push through the fear, and your journey, what's beautiful about your journey and what I love about you work in the quote unquote kindness space, which just saying that out loud is kind of one of the, really, we call it the kindness space now, right?
I don't know.
I know, it's ridiculous. But you've created a whole brand, Kindsome, which we've done some work with you on back in the day to help with your video content. And your whole brand, everything you stand for is about helping people and showing up for people and taking care of people. And the thing that I love about you is that you went from this very me-centric kind of approach, right? Like, let me push through the things in my life and in the world that I want to do. And then as we saw in your story along the way, something changed for you and you said, actually, I want to be outward focused and helping people. And that's what you do full time now. Tell us about Kindsome and your work in that.
Yeah, it's odd. I mean, so I guess for anyone, well, I guess you just saw that documentary, so you sort of do know. But yeah, the idea is you have to look after yourself so that you can look after
oxygen
others.
mask.
Yeah, it's the oxygen mask analogy for sure. But I equally, you know, I was actually talking with Toddy, who's in the background naked somewhere back there.
He's not there. He walked out for once.
He's not.
Oh, there he is.
Naked, yeah,
your microphone's conveniently placed over him.
But we were talking, and like it's not necessarily the transition. You go from being self-indulgent to selfless, and then hey, you're done. I mean, ultimately, it's a balance, right? And I think, you know, I was only able to help people because I was just being very on mission, on purpose myself. And you know, the more I look at the things that I've done from my list, they were absolutely only possible because of other people. Why did people help me? Because they just saw that I was on purpose and going on a focused goal. And so I think really the best way to help people is to help yourself. And I thoroughly mean that. You know, I was actually on a Zoom call last night. So it was a friend's birthday and blah, blah, blah. We all started talking about, hey, how do we help each other out in the year moving forward? And everyone had wonderful ideas about this, that, and whatever. And my take on it probably sounds a little bit edgy, but, you know, I think the best way to help people is to go for your goals, whatever they are. And if it so happens that your goals also have a natural positive byproduct for other people as well, that's just fantastic. And I'm just fortunate in that, you know, I'm also not trying to create, you know, bullshit, so to speak. Like I believe innately everyone's kind. Everyone, you know, I'm talking to you, you're the person in front of me. Look at the things that you've, and not to make this about you or me or anyone in particular, but look at the things that you've done with all the charity notion of today, the fact that you fed the homeless, the brown paper bag thing that I can't remember the official name. People are kind. We all want to be kind. We all have the innate ability and that desire to do it. We just need an opportunity. So I'm just very fortunate in that I get to, provide an opportunity at times for people to be good to one another.
Do you think you are in your heart a kind person? Is it a mask you wear, or is that who you are at your core?
No, I'm pretty authentic. Yeah, it's me. A girl said to me, this is not recently, probably a year ago. I can't remember who it was. They questioned whether babies are born innately kind or evil.
Babies are born evil?
Yeah, I didn't get it, and
that's a horrible worldview.
Yeah, I know. So we don't chat anymore. Whoever that was, I can't remember who it was. But
you're an evil baby. You were an evil baby, Seb. I don't know what happened, but you were an evil baby.
Thank you. It's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. No, I think, I think I'm authentically kind. I'm just able, I think it's a switch you just activate. I mean, it's in us. You just need to switch it, and it's very natural and everyone has it. And, you know, all the people, all the friends of yours I've met over the years, all the things that you're involved with, Ken, the group that you just mentioned, Metal, and, you know, all the friends, the burner friends of yours that I've met. I saw Teddy on here earlier. Yeah. I saw your parents on here earlier.
Did you like that?
I loved it. It was great. Just all your friends are kind. So you kind of, I think by throwing yourself into the middle of that pool, you attract and create all of that stuff around you too.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I think we have in common is our desire to be kind in the world and compassion in the world. I don't know if you saw the beginning, but my friend Halcyon was on, and he was talking about his work and trying to help people, trying to help in particular a woman experiencing homelessness that he was really hoping that he's been doing a lot of work with. And at times it's tough, right? It can be tough to be kind. You know, when I was doing the Amori's for Mayor stuff, my mantra was, what would love do, right? And it's a full-time job to be in what would love do mode all the time. Like, I mean, it's literally saying I have to acknowledge people, or I get to acknowledge people. Everyone I see is of value and of merit and worth. And going into the world with that means you don't flip people off in traffic, you know. I actually was going to try an initiative called the Kiss Off, where when people cut you off in traffic, you said, I love you, you know. Like, imagine that world, right, where you're driving down the freeway and everyone's yelling, I love you. You could even almost do it with a little anger. I love you, you know, like that's be very New York. But
I can see you doing that.
Yeah. I fucking love you. But there's you know, it being that kind and being loving all the time takes a lot of work and discipline. You know?
Yeah, and I think certainly, you know, it's very nice to say, hey, everyone, I'm kind, or as a company, let's be kind. Like it's not just being kind. I mean, there's a whole process that leads up to it. And the first part is being kind to yourself. And as soon as it, I think, becomes a job, or you feel like, oh my God, I'm so fatigued from being kind, you're doing it for the wrong reason. or you're kind of missing the point. I mean, kindness is just this holistic thing. It's just being a good person and being, I think, trying as best we can, living, authentically, whatever our values are, just live by that. If you are able to be yourself, here's the most profound thing I'll say, and it's not very profound, but I will say it. From my list, and it's odd, like, why on earth is there an ESPN documentary about me? It's ridiculous. I'm very fortunate. I get to speak around the world.
Is that because of your rugby skills?
Absolutely not. I'd like to say it was, but look, what am I doing? I'm just doing the things that I think are going to make me happy. Why is that different? So really, we all just want to feel good. We all just want to feel good. We can all get there in a million different ways, and we should, because it's a relative concept. Therefore, no one's the same.
Yeah.
But if we all just kind of maintain course on trying to feel good, you'll naturally find that, you're going to be kind to yourself. It's a process. It's a journey. It's challenging at times. And then, you'll be of service and useful to other people, whether it's hands-on, pushing someone in a wheelchair, or saying, I love you, or saying I'm sorry, or helping someone, extending your hand, packing a brown paper bag with food for, it's all just living. I don't think it should be like overly complicated.
One thing we've talked about sort of in the past is I keep asking you what's left on your list, and you often deflect on that one. You're like, I'm sort of done with that. If it happens, it happens. But you didn't complete your 100 things, right?
Yeah. Really good point. So I'm up to 74 things. And so for years, I've said to people, and this is just a recent realization through chatting to the naked man in the background, Toddy, who's now helping with 100 things and everything that it is, right?
Yeah.
So I've said for years, like I don't need to finish my list. I realize I just like helping people. And that sounds very lovely and poetic, and it is. But that sort of suggests that I'm forgetting about myself. And so it's very timely that you asked that, because literally on a work board that we've got here somewhere, I've got 74. So I've got, 26 things left to do. And we looked at them last week, and Toddy just said, well, which are the ones that really mean something to you still? And so there are things on there which do, because, our lists, they're very much linked to our values, right? And over time, our values change, and therefore so too should our goals. But there are things on there like sailing the seas. I want to sail from a continent to another continent on a sailboat. But whereas, what's another thing? I wanted to go on in Vanuatu, they do this thing called tower jumping. It's like a passage of manhood, or a rite of passage, for kids. So there's a bamboo tower. They tie vines around their legs. They jump off onto a dirt hill. And it's the original.
I don't know about that.
It's terrifying. It's the original bungee. They use vines. There's no elastic to them. And you have to, because you dive onto an angle, you just have to pick the right angle. If you get it wrong, you might die. So I always thought, wow, what an adrenaline rush. But I looked at my list. I was like, well, I don't want to do that. I'd be ashamed if I died now. So that comes off.
And it's kind of a Darwin Awards kind of way to go.
Yeah. I actually, do you know that I think the stat is 3 people a year die from getting a coconut on their head directly from a tree?
Oh yeah, Frankie, my ex-girlfriend's grandfather, died from a durian falling on his head in Malaysia.
What's a durian?
You're Australian. You don't know what a durian is?
A durian?
Yeah, they're these durian. They're this stinky fruit. You actually can't bring them into lots of parts of Asia. You can't even bring them in.
And that's how he died.
He died that way.
Well, this might seem insensitive if I say this, then, but it's true, and I mean it. If you got to choose how to die, I always thought a coconut on the head, because imagine at the funeral, like I know with my friends and family, everyone would be in hysterics. It'd be like, oh, we're here today because Sebastian, sadly, tragically lost his life from a coconut falling from a tree. I mean, that is brilliant. So that would be how I would die. If we're talking about how we're going to die.
That's how you want to go?
It is. And the irony of it is we're celebrating birth today. So sorry about that.
No, that's okay. My birthday's actually on Tuesday, so it's fine.
Good.
There's a scene in Naked Gun, which I quote often, which is the guy's like, that's not a way to die. That's not a way for a man to die. I want to die falling out of a plane or getting my nuts bit off by a Lapland. Anyway, it's kind of a funny quote. Yeah, so I feel the same way. I mean, I don't have any set way determined for how I would like to die. I'd like to die comfortably around people I love, I think. But
what so can I want to ask
Please.
you, so so recently, as I'm sure everyone watch, I can't see if anyone's watch. I'm just assuming there's a couple of people there.
I'm assuming there are a few people.
All I'm doing is visualizing you naked. I heard that helps. So, you recently said, or not said, but you put on Facebook this kind of quest for love, which obviously as friends, we've been talking about for years.
Yeah.
And I'm no closer to it, by the way. But
I'm not sure.
my question is, are you basically? And I suppose because it's almost your birthday, looking forward into the next year, what is, because I like the concept. I like asking people, what is that next thing for you? Love or otherwise?
Yeah, it's a great question. Am I closer to it? What I'm closer to is having started to love myself much more, you know? And I think that's the key, right? And when I talk about self-love, there's that kind of self-love, which I actually did a documentary on, Sticky. But the self-love I'm referring to is, of course, what you referred to as putting on your own oxygen mask. You talk about sometimes the need to be selfish, right? And I don't really consider it selfishness, but I'm learning to like do what I have to do for me, which was not a thing before, you know, like I would suppress my needs a lot more for others, you know, to do what I thought was right or what I thought people wanted. And I don't think you can really have a successful relationship if you operate in that way. I think you have to be true to yourself and love others and take care of others. But if you're not being honest with yourself, if you're not being authentic with yourself and giving yourself what you need, very hard to give to somebody else fully.
Have you met, I hope this isn't awkward, but between you and I and your entire guest list, what's happened since? Have you met anyone?
I've met some lovely people. Yeah, some lovely women.
Okay, that's diplomatic. Is there anyone that you're like, yes, maybe? Or is it just...
I don't know. I haven't, you know, because it's also all virtual, right? So that makes it hard to know. It's hard to know. I've met some incredible women, some really incredible women that definitely make you go, great. There's a lot. You know what it was? The experiment for me was also about changing my relationship to love. I think I had been in a place of like a scarcity around love, and instead turning it into an abundance of love, if that makes sense, which is that love is all over the place, you know, and realizing that it's been my choice to stay single. I've had a number of incredible women in my life, and I was usually the one who said, this isn't working for me. Not always, but, you know, certainly in the last several. And so that's a choice I've made. And I also have to look at myself and say, hey, you know, you don't have to be single. You've chosen that. Because you want the person that is that hell yes, you know, that this is my person.
Great. Well, that's what you deserve.
Again. I want to find my person and have some kids and you know, spend the rest of my life making her happy and us happy.
Would you have kids now? If you met the right person, boom, done.
Are you asking?
Yeah, I just thought this would be a surprise. I want children with you. No, so you're turning 45. Could 45 be the year you have kids?
Absolutely. I mean,
that's exciting.
Why not? I don't think there's anything stopping me at this point.
That's awesome. How cool.
Yeah. What about you? I mean, that's something that I feel like we've talked about it, but are you?
I realized as soon as I started asking you, I was opening myself up for being asked.
Well, let's be honest. You've got quite a, you've got your own, how should I say this? Stable? No, you've got your own interested parties. Lots of them.
I don't think so. I don't know.
You don't think so?
No one really wants to hear from me today, but no, hey.
Everyone wants to hear from you. They're tired of hearing from me, brother.
Let's see. What's
exciting and new.
Yeah. I mean, I've been virtual dating. That's been, you know.
Tell me about your adventures in virtual dating.
Well, none of it's gone to the extremes that I heard it has done for others. It's just been, you know, polite conversation, but which is actually lovely because there's this. I think there's kind of like this pressure, right? If not a pressure, but if you're meeting in person, there's maybe an expectation. How many dates until this, that, or the other? And like when it's just virtual, and you know that's all it is. You just sort of connect because you actually find the person interesting. So that's been nice, just having conversations. Equally, I'm trying to work out if talking to someone in another city is like, where does that go? I don't really know. So, yeah, as you can probably tell, no idea. But,
I will say when you're ready and you find that person, they're going to be very lucky. And excited to be at your wedding, maybe even officiating. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Are you an ordained wedding minister?
I am. I've done a number of weddings. Well, Amori is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I became an ordained wedding minister too, and it was because of Ian Xavier. Is he listening today? Would he bone?
I hope so. You really? I don't know that story.
Yeah. Well, when I first came to start my list, I flew into LA because I was visiting an inmate on death row, but in Oklahoma. But I was staying at a friend's place in LA, and that's where I met all those guys, Ollie and Ian and all the other people. So yeah, I met Ian one day, and I just thought he was such a lovely guy, and he was telling me just very kind of matter of fact how, oh yeah, this last weekend I just married two of my best friends together, and he didn't sort of strike me as like a ministerial type of character.
No,
and
I love him to death, but I agree that's not exactly where I would place him.
Yeah, and I was like, I go, hang on, what am I missing? And he said, yeah, I just became an ordained wedding minister. It took 2 minutes. It was free. It was online. So I was like, that's going on my list. So that's what I did. And then,
have you married anyone yet?
I've done two.
Awesome. I thought you were going to say that when you were telling that story that Ian wanted you to marry him or something. That's what it sounded, which I didn't compute.
No.
I want to become a moil so I can do circumcisions. I think that would be cool. Maybe a little more training, but required. I don't think you can get that online.
Well, two things. One, I've never heard anyone say that, and two, there's a word. What's the word?
Moil.
A moil.
Yeah.
A moil is he or she who cuts off foreskin?
Yes. Well, in Jewish tradition.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Hang on. What? Tell me more about this.
I'm not going to tell you more about this because I think we're out of time. And honestly, I think people, you can Google this. You don't need me sitting here talking about foreskins removal, which I'm actually not for anymore anyway. So,
wow.
Wow. Seb, my brother, you are a delight, and I want to thank you for being here, brother. I love you so
of course.
much.
Happy birthday for Tuesday. Thank you for having me. To everyone listening, just aren't we lucky to have little old Helix as our friend?
Can you make a shout out? We want to get people donating to the Midnight Mission today. This is, after all, in service. We need some more donations. What are you telling people out there to get kind? How do you get people to be kind?
How do I get? Well, obviously, if you want donations, if you haven't donated yet, donate. That's let's go to the point. How do you be kind? Well, I would just encourage everyone to just be yourselves. Don't pretend. Don't try. Just be yourself, and you'll be the kindest person on the planet if you're able to do that properly.
And donate to the Midnight Mission right here.
Of course, donate to the Midnight Mission.
There.
Yeah, I can't see any of those numbers, but I did see that you'd raised over $1,000 already.
We're at $1,650. It's early in the day, but we got some work to do.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Good on you, buddy. Thank you for
having
me on.
I love you, my brother.
You too. You too.
All right, guys. Next up, we are going to have a live guest in the studio, which I'm pretty excited about. Miss Nova Hahn's going to be joining us here shortly. We're going to show a clip right now of some of the work we've been doing with our new company called We Howl. So stand by for that. And we will be back with Nova in just a moment.
should stay, I would only be in the way. So I'll go, but I know that I'll think of you every step of the way. And I will always love you. I will always love you. Will always love you. Falling over and over like the wrong thing I wrote. 'Cause the storm you've been bullying has been taking its toll. I put it all on the line since you left me for her. My world has high definition. Now it's all just a blur. How could it be that she's standing there instead of me? Once you had my heart, then you press restart. Now I just can't understand why I still love you. I still love you. Does it feel the same when you look in her eyes? Or is it part of the game when you're sit at the prize? Sooner or later, she'll see right through your lies. And I hope that she takes every tear that I cry. Hey! How could it be that she's standing there instead of me? Once you have my heart, then you press restart. Now I just can't understand why I still love you. I still love you. I still love you. Take it, Zach. Zach Moore.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Oh my gosh. Thank you all.